Carol.
Hey, love.
I asked you about this interview and thank you for accepting our invitation.
My pleasure.
And also, I asked you about choosing the place where we can film it.
Yeah.
And I thought about something fancy like restaurant, but we're here. Why?
Well, let me tell you. I mean, I really love this place. This is an abandoned bus station. And eventually, this place represents the state of mind I was in when I was creating the art project, when I just started. And, you know, this is a visual representation of that very state. Because the architecture is very monumental, though abandoned, which brings us to the idea that my state of mind was the same. That's first. And second, as I mentioned, this is a bus station, which means that a lot of people are coming, a lot of people are going, but eventually no one stays.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I want some spoilers.
you will have everything you want.
So, let's begin.
Let's start.
You're days away before releasing your debut song. What headspace are you in right now?
Well, thrill, inspired, and in some sense in love with life, which is quite strange for me, but I am.
Does you feel any pressure about it?
Well, I mean, I do feel pressure because it is my first time coming out as a public person, because I always lived under cover of label private publicity in some sense, but now I'm standing back from it and going forward to something more public. And you know, sometimes I feel kind of naked when I'm sharing my thoughts, my feelings with people. And this is that very case when I'm sharing myself without any labels, without any covers, just me. So I'm feeling kind of naked in some sense.
Why you choose this song as your artistic debut?
Well, this song was the first one I recorded for a bigger project that we will discuss later, I guess.
Okay.
But this song was like, this is my firstborn. This is my firstborn. This is the one I was really in love with. And this is the one that turned to be a song, not just a lyric or not just a demo that still is in my vault. But this one was the favorite kid of mine. And I had no other choice for it.
If you need to describe it, for example, in 3 words, what would they be?
Oh, liberating,
Yeah.
Chaotic, and metamorphosis.
Yeah, you've got lots of, different references like Easter eggs.
That's true, I love that kind of stuff.
And also, is the song a confession, a statement, or a character you're embodying?
All three.
All three.
Yeah, all in one. Because, I mean, this is a statement of me turning from one person to the other person. I'm speaking about that turning point in my life. That's the big part of the song. The other thing is that the character I'm embodying, this is the place when one version of Dave haunts the other version of Dave and gets it and kills it for the new version of Dave to have the chance to live. So a lot of things are, let's say, sewed into this song. A lot of things are melted into this song. So I can definitely tell that a lot of things are there.
Was it difficult to be so emotionally exposed?
Every person has their superstitious stuff they believe into, and a lot of artists do believe at 3 a.m. kind of magic and so on. And I started writing this song specifically at 3 a.m. and I wrote it like for the whole night. I mean, and during one night I wrote the lyrics for it, and then in the morning I was like, oh my God, I'm a genius. This was specifically like groundbreaking. I was super proud of myself. And I held it for 3 years in my vault, and I was not sharing it with people because I was like, I'm going to be judged because this is my first experience of singing in public, performing in public, and sharing my thoughts in public, which is hard. And I felt really exposed, but now I'm enjoying because, you know, when you have a gem, when you have a diamond, of course it's cute that you have it, but you are not always like keeping it in your wardrobe. You like to wear it. So the same things work with this song.
And speaking of your experience, is it based on specific story or more like composite experience?
Well, you know the answer, but I will spill the tea. It's covered in a storyline of my relationship, but the main idea of me growing as a person and changing, peeling off the old skin. So it's more about that. But of course, it's suited and connected to a very specific relationship I had.
Are you one of those artists who dives into relationships just to break up and write songs about it?
Well, as I like to say, first of all, I'm not Taylor Swift. And second of all, I would say, no, I'm not, because relationship is something quite monumental for me to step into just to write a song. I mean, my imagination is enough to do that. But on the other hand, that very specific relationship in my life had a power, had the strength to become the spark, to be the beginning of my artistic journey.
And now, when you listen back to it, you're proud of it?
I mean, super proud. That is my baby. I mean, literally, even today when I was coming here to meet you, I was listening it in the car and I was like, genius. I want to, I mean, each time I'm putting that song, I'm playing that song on, let's say, like radio, not the radio, but the CarPlay or like my headphones or something, I'm being like, angels are kissing my ears, because each time the lyric is coming, I'm like, mwah. Then the sound kicks in, I'm like, mwah. Even the small details which are in the song starts with the heartbeat, and I'm like, mwah. So, I mean, a lot of things I'm like, super proud of. Let's go. The interview is here. We're speaking about the song, then we're speaking about the album.
Nice.
Nice.
Do you remember how the first line came to you?
Of course I do. I mean, I was working, then I came back home. That was after a very tiring shift. And I was laying, trying to fall asleep, but I was not able to. And then I was like, the muse came and I started writing. I was doing this on my iPad. I was like writing something. And then I was like, boom, we have it. The structure came along, the idea came along.
What was first, structure or your emotion?
I mean, the first was, of course, the emotion, because the emotion was based on the experience I had. And then it came to the concept. And then it started growing over and over. It's like, have you seen ever the GIFs or the videos where it starts with the bone structure, then they're adding the nerves, then the muscles, then the organs, then the skin? The same thing worked with this very project.
And when you feel like that's it, the song is finished?
It took almost 3 years to finish the song. I started writing it in 2022.
Oh.
Yeah, it was summer, and I started writing it back then. Then it changed when I started doing it over in the end of 2024. Then I moved to Bali, and in Bali I met a lot of people which started inspiring me, and then I came back and I got to a movie making project. I worked with a great director. I was his assistant back then, Darren Sarafian, the man who directed the Lost, who directed the Doctor House, who was a producer on the shows as well. And he and the team I was working with inspired me a lot to be able to share my creations, to believe in myself. And that was in September of 2025. And I was like, boom, now I can finalize it, and I did. I got the mastering and final mix done. And then in November, the visualization or whatever of the project started.
And were there any moments that committed you to finish it?
Yes, the support of people around me and the belief. You know, it's important when people are, not only you, but some people around you start to believe in you and start to tell you that you are talented and you should not be afraid to share what you create. And that was the turning point when the things I created just for myself as a hobby turned to a point when I was ready to spend my all budgets, my all savings I had to this project I have very much believe in now. But that happened because of the people that was around me back then, half a year or more even ago, and the people I'm being friends now in the moment that are there with me, for me, supporting me and helping me to bring all of this around the project I'm very proud of to life.
People is really important. And what's your ideal working environment?
Craziness, madness, emotional disasters, being bipolar, being anxious, being emotionally unstable. A lot of things are there. None of my songs eventually came from positive vibrations in life and so on. All of them are coming from a darker place. That's why the visuals of the album are more towards the dark tones, dark motifs, dark references, but with the lyrics, I'm trying to bring the duality of the life. The duality of life that I see, the duality of life I feel, I like to bring that to life. Within, with help and with support and with embodying through my songs.
Speaking about craziness, who Dave's outside the music?
Oh, crazy bitch. Crazy. I don't know. I mean, I would be able to describe Dave in few words, but that would be a tough thing to do because Dave is creator, but Dave is very lazy. But when it comes to things Dave really loves, Dave will rip his ass apart. A lot of people will suffer, but I will always get what I want because I'm an Aries. That is part of my nature. I can torture myself by not sleeping, by not eating, by being tired to death, but I will always get what I want. And as well, I'm very loving actually. I'm very caring. I really love people I have around me. I really love my friends. I adore my mom. I'm a dog person. I have 3 dogs. I love dogs. I love making food. I love a lot of things. I love traveling a lot. I love having sex. I love being in love. I love smoking, but it's already a few months that I quit. It's hard.
It's hard.
It's hard, but I try to be a better version of myself, even though I guess I will die even before I will go to the club 27. But anyways, we still have 1 year. We will see soon. I'm a cute, crazy weirdo.
What values guide you as a person?
I guess the main human value to be friendly and to be caring and to have the strength and power within to be who you really are. And I'm always trying to bring that to life.
How do you see the world? Chaotic, ironic, beautiful, or all of the layers?
I will assume all together combined, but chaotic and beautiful mixed match together sounds the best to me.
And what people often misunderstand about you?
Oh, good question. A lot of people accept the fact of me having a lot of self-love for myself.
Selfish.
They assume that I'm selfish.
Yes.
But I'm not. You know, I had a trip once to Paris when I was 19, and I got back and I was at my workplace, ex-workplace at the moment, and I came to people, I was like, I love myself, and I love myself, and I did this, and people were like, this guy's crazy. And I was like, don't you love yourself? People were like, no, why should we? that brought them to the idea that I'm selfish, but I travel a lot to bring that very feeling of loving myself more and more to my life, because that's very important. And I hope and I wish a lot of people had the same opportunity to experience the self-love, the spectrums of emotions of really loving yourself as much as I do, or did, whatever.
Do you have some special emotions or maybe experience that motivates you?
Traveling actually motivates me a lot. I love expensive stuff. Receiving gifts motivates me a lot. Being in love motivates me a lot. Breaking up motivates me as well. Having sex, good sex happens quite rare, but it's a good thing to have. It motivates me. I love the compliments. I love helping friends. I love receiving friends' help. So a lot of small details, good food, tasty drinks. I hope this evening, once we will finish this, we will have our glasses of raspberry wine. But like small details like that are bringing a lot of things to my life.
Do you have some special story or maybe experience, especially in travels, that inspired you in your songs?
During my last trip, not trip, it was more of a migration to Bali. I fell in love with a person. They were from Greece. And the best sex in my life, non-stop. Then the good food came along, the beautiful view, the Balinese haze, the free spirit vibe. When the wind is going through your hair, you're on a bike, hugging the person who's driving the bike, and you're on that way to go to see the ocean, and then you greet the sunset, and then both of you are a bit tipsy, and you're coming back, and that feeling, yes, of course, the feeling of not only inner, but as well outside, outer freedom that it brought to my life. I'm still holding it with me.
That's interesting.
Thank you.
What artists, musicians, or filmmakers shaped your own artistic vision?
Oh, really good question. If we're speaking about music, my big time inspirations were David Bowie and Kate Bush.
Love it.
Definitely. If we're speaking about performers like Madonna or my eternal love, Lady Gaga. If we're going towards the visual direction, visual art, I can mention my two favorite directors, which are David Lynch and, of course, the master, Stanley Kubrick.
That's great.
But of course, I would like to have one honorable mention, which is going to be Sergei Parajanov, a USSR-based director whose visual art is crazily abstract, but I love it. And as well, one more honorable mention, I would like to go for Marina Abramović and her performances. Stunning, but eternal. I love them.
Yeah, and because we spoke about artistic work as art piece, let's talk about yours music video.
Let's go.
Let's talk about the visual side. And when did the concept for the music video emerge?
Eventually, right after I started writing the lyrics, I knew how I would like to visualize each line I was writing. Then, when it came to a moment when I was ready to bring the music video to life, with a great help of my director of photography, David, I came and...
Lots of these around you.
I loved it. I brought the subcontext of lyrics to a visual level for the audience to be able to, although interpretate, but to see where the words were coming from.
And the last shot is stunning, but very abstract. Do you have some meanings behind it?
Of course, the whole music video is fulfilled with a lot of Easter eggs, references, both historical, from legends and so on and so on. But the last shot specifically is coming from an ancient time, an ancient farming, where people had a belief to have a better harvest next year, they should burn the leftovers of this year's harvest. And with all of that, the thing that they were doing, they were burning everything, so the soil will be fulfilled with the ash, and the ash will be, let's say, the base for a better harvest next year. The same thing and the same concept worked here, because as well in some, let's say, in traditions of some countries, as for example, in India, they are burning the corpses so the soul can reincarnate better. The same thing worked here. The whole music video, one version of Dave is being haunted with the other version of Dave. And once is getting the other one, we're getting the new version, the metamorphosis. And the final shot, we're coming along with some, let's say, creature, which as well I embody because I am the change bringer to my life, and that very thing is bringing some change to our life, my life.
And is there some single frame that feels like the soul of the music video?
Of course. I mean, I would ask you, by the way, which one is your favorite one? But my favorite one, during the editing process, there were a few of them, but my favorite one in the end of the editing process became the one where I'm stepping in with the fire in my hand, and I love it.
Yeah.
Hello,
stunning.
gorgeous.
Hey.
By the way, I love dogs.
Yeah.
Miss Thang.
Thank you.
And it came along in a moment when I'm standing with the fire in my hand and going to destroy something that was the connecting point of new me and the old me, but the old me was not letting me to move forward, and I had to erase it. I had to burn it, and I'm coming along with this torch in my hand. So that is my favorite shot.
Yeah, and I'm in love with shot where you have heart in your hands. That's absolutely stunning.
Thank you. It was hard to make, by the way. It's a pig heart.
It seems so.
Yeah.
And what do you hope listeners feel after their first listen?
Eventually, I have high hopes that this song would be able to inspire people not to be afraid of change. They have to accept at some period of their life where everything around is putting some pressure on them to be, let's say, socially comfortable in a big social hive that we're living that's a mandatory from the side of society. I was always a rebel heart going against it, and I was not always able to find the strength to find the spark, which gladly I did. And with this music video, I would like to bring not only the music video, but the song itself and the bigger part of this project later on to be able to deliver that idea that the change is possible, and each of us, in case of need, in case of will be able to find that very strength of change they have to get or have to accept that change, to bring that change to their lives.
And speaking of your artistic journey, maybe you know where you wanted to take you.
As we already spoke about the commercial music and so on, I would like to get a bit commercially successful, not too much because later on I will not be able of releasing what I want, because I will be associated with things that are eventually my audience is expecting me to share, not what I feel that I want to share, which are different things. And with all of that together, I can definitely tell I would like to find a bit of success, and the best outcome is to find people that would be able to resonate with art that I share, which will be able to help them to get inspired and to create and to bring themselves to a better version of life they're having in the moment. So sometimes you need a helping hand to get out of some bad situations, and I hope that I will be that helping hand to people that I didn't even met, but we have that specific connections miles away or on different points on globe, just with the music that will connect us.
And finally, when can we expect the release?
The hardest, but the most anticipated question. The first single is going to be released at